Consumption has become a pressing health concern in Nigeria, contributing to the rising burden of non-communicable diseases such as hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, and stroke, which currently account for 29% of all deaths in Nigeria. Worried by the ugly trend, public health advocates in Nigeria are calling on the federal government and relevant stakeholders to set salt targets as well as implement and enforce policies to address health concerns linked to high salt intake. They made the call at a press conference this Tuesday in Abuja. Clearview's Gloria Atta was there and now tells us more.
Nigeria records an estimated daily salt consumption reaching up to 5.8 grams per day, a statistics that dangerously exceeds the World Health Organization's recommended limit of 2 grams of sodium per day or less than 5 grams of salt per day, equivalent to just 1 teaspoon of salt daily. Reports from the World Health Organization shows that non-communicable diseases such as hypertension, cardiovascular diseases and stroke currently account for 29% of all deaths in Nigeria. According to public health experts, the statistics, although alarming, is not surprising, given the significant changes in the Nigerian diet. Over the years, the influx of processed foods and seasonings laced with high sodium on local market shelves and the growth of unhealthy fast food outlets across the country have led to a nutritional transition that poses grave risk to public health. Speaking from this standpoint, and in an effort to reverse the rising burden of hypertension and cardiovascular diseases associated with high salt consumption in the country, the Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa and other relevant stakeholders have converged on this hall to call on the federal government and relevant agencies to set salt targets and enforce regulations to address health concerns linked to high salt intake in the country.
The message today is that the Nigerian government also must act very fast on implementing the salt targets. For us, we thank the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare for signing the validated policy on food safety and quality. But it's important that they move very, very fast. So much is being pushed to us as a country. There are even products in this country now that when I check them off the shelves, their description, labeling are even done not in languages we can read. This is very serious. So I think why we do our part as citizens is also to go back to NAFDAC. We'll be working with them to ensure that, these targets are set, appropriate labels are made on our products, and we can also live healthy life.
We are proposing that a government collaborate with the relevant agencies, the agencies who set standards for industry, the agencies that monitor what we import and into the country, because what we import also goes into our food chain, and those who are in the food processing chain in the country, like the ministries of agriculture, etc. And in doing so, we want government to also ensure that these commercial producers of food are mandated to put labels on their products to indicate whether those products have high salt content or low salt content.
From our study, some of the products that had the highest salt content were things like meat and meat products, fish. In Nigeria, we use a lot of dried fish. And a lot of the dried fish we use, before you go to sun-dry it, you splash salt on it. Why? Salt is a preservative. You're trying to stop that food from spoiling while it is drying. So you can understand, you're putting salt and fish that is salted into soup, and you're still adding salt and still adding Maggi. There are so many factors that I could talk about.
They are confident that regulations on salt targets will not only address the rising challenges of non-communicable diseases, but will also foster a culture of healthy eating and create a positive impact on the overall health of the nation. Gloria Atta, reporting for Clearview News.
Hamas officials say at least 20 people have been killed in the southern Gazan city of Rafah after overnight strikes. Without specifically commenting on the reported incident, the Israeli army says it targeted and killed the Hamas financier in Rafah. The UN Security Council is due to vote later on a new ceasefire motion. Report says the language has been watered down to a suspension of hostilities to get US backing. Meanwhile, the US says 10 countries have agreed to form a coalition to protect merchant shipping in the Red Sea after attacks by Houthi rebels. The Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen have been targeting ships that believe are bound for Israel. Monday night, 3 elderly men who were taken hostage were shown in a new Hamas video. The Israeli military said the video was despicable. Hamas broke through Israel's heavily guarded perimeter on 7 October, killing 1,200 people and taking 240 hostages, some of whom were released during a brief truce. The health ministry in Gaza, which is run by Hamas, says more than 19,660 people have been killed and 52,500 injured in the enclave since the start of the Gaza war. At least 126 people have been killed in northwest China and the country's deadliest earthquake for years. The 6.2 magnitude quake hit mountainous Gansu province around midnight on Monday 1600 GMT. Fatalities may rise with more than 700 reported injured in icy conditions. Chinese President Xi Jinping has ordered thousands of rescue crew to the region, among the poorest and most diverse in China. This Tuesday, footage on social media networks showed entire villages split by the quake as well as collapsed buildings and houses. Residents who fled their homes were also shown huddling over makeshift fires at hastily erected evacuation camps. Pope Francis has allowed priests to bless same-sex couples, a significant advancement for LGBT people in the Roman Catholic Church. The leader of the Roman Catholic Church said priests should be permitted to bless same-sex and irregular couples under certain circumstances. But the Vatican said blessings should not be part of regular church rituals or related to civil union or weddings. It added that it continues to view marriage as between a man and a woman. Pope Francis approved a document issued by the Vatican announcing the change. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news on Clearview News Desk. And when we come back, we bring you stories on women and children. Stay with us.
The news continues now with stories from our area of specialization, women and children. After the main transmission of our news, we rebroadcast on our YouTube page, Clearview TV. Do you operate a women or children's NGO? Are you at the helm of affairs of a government establishment or a corporate organization involved in the affairs of women and children? Then you are our partners in progress. We have a mission to better the lot of our women and children. Join us to celebrate womanhood and work assiduously to better the lot of the Nigerian child. This is our mission.
Welcome back. A Nigerian-born professor of pharmaceuticals nanoscience, Ijoma Uchegbu, has been appointed as the 7th president of Wolfson College, a constituent college of the University of Cambridge. According to the institution, she is set to assume the role on October 1, 2024, succeeding the current president, Professor Jane Clark. Clearview News Imofon Okon beams spotlight on the profile of the special breed.
Professor Ijoma Uchegbu, currently holding the position of a professor in pharmaceutical neuroscience at University College, London, has a root from southeast Nigeria and Hackney. Commencing her pharmacy studies in 1981 at the University of Benin, she pursued a master's degree at the University of Lagos. Encountering infrastructure limitations, she couldn't finish a doctorate in Nigeria. After returning to the UK, she undertook postgraduate studies at the University of London, culminating in a PhD in 1997. Subsequently, she served as a lecturer at the University of Strathclyde from 2002 to 2004. Professor Ucheku is currently a professor of pharmaceutical nanoscience at University College London. Her innovative research on drug transport mechanisms has contributed to the development of new treatments. Her work has garnered numerous awards, fellowships, and approval. She also holds positions on several academic boards and councils, including the Wellcome Trust, the Academy of Medical Sciences. During her tenure at University College London, she played a key role as Vice Provost for Africa and the Middle East, forging new research partnerships in those regions.
You need to be able to take the disappointment. The one thing that's certain about life is not success, but it's disappointment. Everybody will have a situation where they've gone for a job, they didn't get it. They went for a place on a particular course and didn't get it. What separates the people that are actually considered to be huge successes later and the people that didn't quite make it is the fact that those that are faced with disappointment put that disappointment behind them and battle on. So you have to be able to stand up when you've been knocked down. That is, I think, very, very important. It's the only thing that separates the people that you may look up to in different fields as being hugely successful from those who tried but didn't quite make it. It's the ability to stand up when you've been knocked down. If someone says to you that